My name is Angus McLEOD, and we're talking today about self-confidence and self-esteem. These are very different things, and we're also going to find out why they're so important and why self-esteem is critically important to resourcing us, making us stress-free, more capable out there in the world. So let's start with the self-confidence piece. What's important in order to get to that point where we get the self-esteem and all the benefits that arise from it. So self-confidence we can have in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 areas, and really what we need to do is just assess it. Make a look at a chart, let's say, and put things on it and say, well, how good am I at influencing people? How good am I at presenting things? How good am I at social relationships? How good am I at researching things? How am I good at range of things? And then just calibrate, low to high. And this gives you an idea of what you are good at, and this acknowledgement, this understanding of self is important. Just that simple acknowledgement, nothing arrogant about it, it's just acknowledging where we have some skills, numerous different types of skills, and therefore just saying, well, yeah, it's perfectly reasonable to be self-confident in these areas. The thing is, if we have a whole range of self-confidences, and they are at fairly high levels, what happens is that creates self-esteem. So what is the difference, really, between those two things? The difference is that self-confidence, or self-confidences, are context specific. Now you know what that means, because if you have self-confidence in an area and someone who's more powerful than you, or acknowledged as powerful by you, or is influential because of a personal relationship at home, for example, then if they say something which sounds to you negative, or write something which appears to you negative, then the chances are there is some sort of a meltdown at one level or another. And some people that is catastrophic. It could be a few seconds, it could be minutes, it could be days, it could be longer than that, and that will influence badly the quality of the relationship you have with that individual who made the comment that triggered these negative experiences in you. So that's because self-confidence is context specific. In any context someone can take that down, and it can have a great emotional and negative emotional effect on you. If you have a lot of self-confidence in lots of areas at good levels, then you create what we call self-esteem. Now the difference with self-esteem is it's not context specific. It's non-context specific. In other words, it's not attached to anything. It's really a resource, an inner resource, which is very, very powerful. It could be sort of thought about, some of you would have heard about Brian Keenan, who wrote An Evil Cradling. He was in the Middle East and imprisoned 5.5 years, moved around, tortured. There were fake assassination attempts and so forth, and pain and constriction and all sorts of horrible things happening in the night to him over that period. But the one thing they couldn't touch was something he called the white room. It's inside of him. So however much he hurt, however much they bruised him and beat him, they weren't able to break him because of that space. Now self-esteem is very much like Brian Keenan's white room. It's an inviolable space, an inviolate space I should say, that is so important that it's a huge resource to us. So what difference does that make when we create this self-esteem at a greater level because of our work with self-confidence, acknowledging it, growing it, developing it? Really what it's doing is it's giving us a sense of peace, of calm, and an ability to put up with feedback, negative feedback from others, even people who are close to us, more powerful than us, more influential than us. It gives one the sort of resilience against these external influences, which could take away self-confidences. But when we have self-esteem, no. We are protected by this resourcefulness of self-esteem, and that is why this whole process is important.